Hi, my name is George Bruno, also known as the Sultan of Silver. Welcome to another episode of Beards Without Borders. Tonight's episode is brought to you by Pain. 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 And the valuable lessons that it has brought you. Or has it? A short story cigar tonight. Tommy G brought this to me. Take the band off. I like the band of this. It slides off easily. No bigger than my finger, which means it's going to be a shorter episode tonight. Got my torch going. Love it. Don Julio and some limeade, simply lime. I love it. Almost a margarita, but man, that's good. And the zombie gnome is keeping us company tonight. Candle and the tobacco plant, which I'm already starting to harvest and dry some leaves. Tonight is about pain, I'll tell you why. Earlier in the week I posted a picture on Instagram, a picture of what I was talking about when I said I was homeless, living in my car for a few nights in Home Depot parking lot and sleeping on friends' couches, and then finally getting an apartment and having a sleeping bag on the floor. I bought a sleeping bag, a pillow, an air conditioner because it was so blazing hot, and I didn't want to throw away the box to the air conditioner, so it became like my nightstand. And I bought like a little $7 battery powered alarm clock, and I found a floor lamp on trash day on the curb, and that was the only thing that I owned for a short period of time about 12 years ago. And a client of mine says today, I saw that picture that you posted, and he says it reminds me of something that happened in my life. And we started talking about pain, the role of pain and disorganization, and pain, whether we caused it or someone else caused it, doesn't matter. It still feels the same, except maybe for the guilt. This is what I want to talk about tonight. I have a resume, many degrees on it, the highest going up to a master's degree in education, and then 1,000 continuing ed hours post-masters. I'm always learning, always. I lost track at 1,000. The jobs that I've had, the roles that I've had, my skills, all of those are in bullet points on my resume. But when I look back at that photograph of a sleeping bag and a pillow on the floor, and that period of time in my life where I was in pain 12 years ago, lost everything, family, everything. It took me years to be able to encapsulate that story because I couldn't go near it without it hurting me. Not that I had flashbacks or anything, but it was as you start to realize the role that you play in the crumbling of your life, you learn to find words to explain it. You stop blaming people. Even though if something happens to you, you still play a role in everything. If something happens to you, you might not have any control over what happened to you, but you have control over the way that you handle it and the way that you recover from that. I took a long time to recover from that. About 9 years to be exact. That's why when I say beware of ruts, some can be 10 years long. Bottom line, that picture, I found a photograph. I took a picture of it to very bizarrely record where I was in my lowest point in my life. And what's interesting is this. Beard's getting so huge, man. I can't believe it. Here it is, blazing hot summer, and I am cool as can be with this beard. I'm cool. It is not hot. It's actually wicking moisture away from my skin, and it feels great. Here's the deal. When you can look at your pain and say that you learned something from it, then you're ready to move on. So I have degrees and things that I've studied on my resume. Why isn't my pain on my resume? Because that's also a learning experience. And I say that figuratively, not literally. Do you have a figurative resume? Can you look back and say, on topics that you're no longer sensitive about? For the longest time, I had incredible guilt about the demise of my marriage. I had incredible guilt about not being a good parent. I had incredible guilt, and I had to work through those things. Some things were my fault, some things weren't. But if I had a resume, a figurative resume, pain would be, I would have a PhD in pain and confusion and despair and depression and suicidal thoughts. That stuff happens, and you got to overcome it. Until you're ready to face that stuff, how can you move on? I look at that photograph. I got to find it. It's funny. I think I unconsciously misplaced it. I've been dying to record this tonight because this was the last conversation that I had with a client at work today who went through similar stuff in his life. I think he said 8 or 9 years ago. And he related to it. And I said, man, this is a perfect Beards Without Borders episode. The zombie gnome would agree. The glow in the dark eyes. So I look at that picture now, that photograph. It used to bring me pain. Now I look at it and it motivates me. What the heck happened? Do you have something in your life that was once a painful point, which is now something that motivates you? A divorce? Did you lose everything? A death in the family? A DUI? An overdose? What is in your life? What mistakes have you made and what has caused you pain, whether you caused it or someone else caused it, that you can now own, proudly put on the resume, and use it to motivate you? I am so driven at my age. I can't even begin to tell you how much hustle that I have in me. I can't even begin to tell you that. Until you can take your pain and proudly put it as a bullet point on your figurative resume, you're not ready to move on. You're not ready to pursue success. There's a lot of you that are watching this. You like the realness of this whole thing. You like the realness of Beards Without Borders. You like how I just tear my chest open, not in an egotistical, narcissistic way, because narcissists and And egomaniacs don't proudly show their faults and their pain and their folly. What scenario in your life, whether it be work, career, parenting, a marriage or two, has gone up in smoke, that you can now look at it squarely and say, I learned something and I'm not going back there again. I like this little cigar called A Short Story. I like it. Thank you, Tommy G. People bring me cigars, bottles, tequila, rum. I still have my favorites. I'm sitting here leaning against the fence on my deck, sitting on the ground, wearing short. I came home from work. I was so jamming today. I was so busy. I knew if I didn't get this out of me, I would forget it, and I wasn't about to start writing notes. I'm hearing the cat meow. What is it, honey? It's all right, Daddy. You'll be in soon. I got 6 cats. Every one of them is a rescue, and I love them to death. Love them. Crazy about them. Had to stop at Marshall's, return something, stop at the supermarket. I was dying for Sun Chips and some veggie dip, which I'm gonna have as a snack. I'm too tired to make dinner tonight. Look at this. It's for me. It's dark. Crickets are chirping. I should be getting my jammies on, getting ready for bed. Friday night, I got to be up early tomorrow morning, get to work, cut hair all day. Got my damn Crocs on. Ugly as hell. Comfortable as heaven, man. I don't care. You get to the point where you don't like give a damn, but it's not like a reckless not give a damn. It's kind of a cool not give a damn. I'm not the crazy old big white beard guy in the neighborhood. I'm unique. People look at me and they go, all right, he's a creative guy. He's an artist. He works on people's hair. He paints. He does creative things. He sets up a tripod and talks to his phone a couple nights a week. What do you relate to? What do you relate to? Where in your life has there been pain that you've learned from? Comment down below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel too. Hey man, 2 thumbs up for everyone that has subscribed. I now have 8,000 subscribers, and I'm really trying my hardest to get back with everyone, even the jerks. It's all right though. It's all good. You learn to roll with the punches. I'm giving myself 2 years to be a full-time YouTube content creator and then cut hair part-time. So I like the slow cooker method, but I'm not taking 20 years to do it. Got my medication tonight at the store. The pharmacist is beautiful. I would ask her out in like 2 seconds. I don't know. I know she's younger than me. I know nothing about her. I'm so out of touch right now with asking anyone out. It's kind of crazy. After you've been single for so long, it's been about 4.5 years. A good 4.5 years that I haven't been in a relationship. I've dated here and there. but friend dating, go out dancing, hug at the end of the night, that kind of stuff, but no romance. Have you ever had a dry spell in your life where, I mean, I am so okay with myself, I'm so okay with solitude, that weeks and months and years can go by with no desire to fill the other side of my bed. Do I want a woman in my life? Heck yeah. It hasn't been as easy since I've had this. I'm not a bad looking guy without it. I'm not a great looking guy, but I'm not a bad looking guy. But with the beard, I know it makes me look older. I mean, especially if I have a hood on and all that's coming out of the hood is like this Gandalf, people think I'm like 95 years old. Nothing like a good cigar, man, and a drink. Don Julio and Limeade. Oh, Plymouth Fire Department. Support your fire department, man. The first responders. Dudes, let me tell you something. I lived in an apartment when I was in my 20s. I was a young man, and the boiler, the water in the boiler, something about the thing that refills the water in the boiler didn't refill the water, so the gas went on, and it was heating a reservoir that was burning red hot and almost white hot in the basement of the building. There was 4 apartments, and you couldn't even get within 10 feet of it. It was casting off so much heat, and it started burning paint on the walls in the basement, and it went, and the fumes were going up into the apartments. And I went downstairs in the basement, and I saw the furnace burning bright red. The whole outside was bright red. I thought, holy shit. I called the police, or 911 at the time, wasn't police. I called 911. I kid you not. Within a minute and a half or 2 minutes, fire trucks were there. They evacuated the building. They evacuated the block because it was on a gas line. And they saved lives, man. They saved lives. So, to first responders everywhere, cheers, brothers and sisters. Honestly, you save lives. When you see people in these uniforms, man, ambulance drivers, fire trucks, and rescue squad, thank them. Thank them. I'm the nut that goes out of my way to thank people for their service. Cops, security guards, first responders. Here's to you, man. I appreciate you. You've saved my life more than a few times. And if you're a first responder, thank you, man. Thank you. Honestly, thank you so much for everything you do. You're absolutely selfless. It blows my mind. And you know what? Hats off, man, right now to the people in Italy who suffered a devastating earthquake. It blows my mind. My family is in Italy. You know, my hat's off to you. Hats off to the first respond. They don't have first responders like we do in America. I don't know where you're from. Where are you from? What happens when tragedy strikes where you are? Who's the first people to respond? Is it neighbors? You save lives, man. Thank you so much. Thank you. You bring peace to people, and that's what Beards Without Borders is all about. Is peace. Peace. The emails that I get from you are amazing. I get emails from people in war-torn countries. I can't even imagine sitting around sending me an email while you're sitting in a town where you're hearing bombs go off, where you're hearing devastation. Blows my mind. And you're watching my video on a little iPhone or something, or a tablet, or whatever. Cheers to you, man. Seriously. I bid you peace. I really do. Hey, am I going to see you in Nashville? Next week, September 3rd, I'm going to be in Nashville. I'm a judge for the National Beard and Mustache Championship at the Ryman Auditorium. It's going to be pretty rad. I hope to see you there. If not, you'll see pictures of it. Are you following me on Instagram at George A. Bruno? Are you forwarding these videos to people who you think would benefit from it? I wish you would do that. I mean, where else on the web can you tune in to a guy and join someone for a cigar and a pipe with a zombie gnome? Nowhere. And a candle. And a homegrown. Boy, that went down fast. Holy cow. Well, it's time to get in and tear into my sun chips and my veggie dip. If you're not afraid to talk about your pain, put it down below. I'm doing my best to respond to things, even if I say thank you, man, more power to you, cheers, peace be with you. Do it. Learn to encapsulate your pain. Learn to tell your story until you can. Some people say you got to embrace it. No, you don't. You don't have to embrace anything. That's nonsense. Forget about embracing it. Just tell the story. Tell the story. It might bring stuff up, sadness or whatever, but you'll work through it. I don't care, male or female, you'll work through it. In your time. There's no hurry. Although, you'll be more productive if you do work through it. Okay? Well, I bid you peace. Thanks for watching. And we dedicate this episode to pain and what it has taught us, with the emphasis on what it has taught us. George Bruno, also known as the Sultan of Silver. Thank you so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it.